I get that social media can be addicting and toxic, but it's not bad. Hi, I'm Burst. I'm an artist working towards character drawing and developing an online presence. I use it to get inspiration, which is like drawing ideas and updating my art goals. If I see something I like to maybe want to incorporate that into my art someday. So I'll talk about how I find social media good and bad for finding inspiration and how I try to balance it. So Twitter is mostly where I get a lot of my art inspiration now. There's also Pinterest. I use Pinterest a lot for searching things specifically, but Twitter is good for like just mindlessly scrolling and finding new things on a whim. Personally, I've been using Twitter for the past like month or so, a couple of months now, and I've had a good experience with it. I found a lot of artists on there. I found a lot of art on there that I would have never found on my own. And overall, I find myself happy using Twitter. And with Twitter, there's so many things on there. So there's something I'll like on there. Like there's always something I'll like on there. And there's always something that you'll like on there. The art posted there is from all around the world as well. So it's like every world combined into one. It's like art heaven. And as an artist, I need inspiration. Maybe not necessarily from social media specifically, but artists need inspiration, whether that's from real life, from books, from movies, from TV shows, from YouTube videos, from social media, from just drawings on Instagram. Artists need their inspiration. And artists, they love to share, and Twitter is like the best way to do that casually without it being like a professional thing. And as an artist, trying to grow on social media, it's kind of core to my business to be on Twitter. Maybe not as actively as I am right now, but we'll talk about that. So social media itself isn't specifically bad. At its core, all social media platforms are just a way of sharing things and socializing. You make connections and you share your art. And as artists, we want to share our art. Like, I guess there's artists that do it for themselves, and that's a thing. But for me, I want people to see my shit. So that's important. There's definitely toxicity times 100 in social media, but I don't engage with that, and so I don't know how bad it is, but from what I've heard, it's really bad. Just, I guess, I don't want to say keep yourself in a bubble, but you don't need to like or touch anything that's toxic in your social media. And your feed will curate in that way too. I don't see like too much toxicity on my feed, at least. Most of what I see is art. So yeah, fix that. A definite bad thing about social media is that it's time consuming. All social media has infinite scrolling. You basically can get an unlimited amount of inspiration if you wanted. And I find that I'm never full from filling myself with inspiration. Like looking at art, I could do that all day if I wanted to. Like, I guess the problem with social media is that you can be hungry and go there to get inspiration, to feed yourself with inspiration, but you never get full from filling yourself with that inspiration. If I could consume my feed in one bite, I would, but scrolling through that is going to take time. And so taking too much time is really bad. It's also easy to lose track of time. If you're scrolling on your phone, you're not really paying attention to your clock. And yeah, there's a lot of distractions on social media. You can see news, you can see drama, you can see like unrelated things that don't bring inspiration. But the way I've curated my feed, I think it's kept it to a minimum, hopefully. And again, I've only used Twitter for like a couple of months or so actively, so maybe this hasn't become an issue for me yet. But yeah, distractions are definitely a thing on Twitter. And social media, it's very addicting. It's an easy reward system. You can go on there and instantly get amazing images, amazing art, forever if you wanted to. This is bad because creating things isn't instantly rewarding. So if you're drawing or doing some sort of creative task, you will get urges to go on social media, even when you're not using social media. And that's an addiction. That's bad. So how do I balance the good and the bad? I'm not a perfect person, but I do have some techniques. What I understand is that I need to use social media in moderation, which means balancing the time I consume social media and creating social media, like creating art. One is having a schedule. I have a schedule. I block in an hour of time after a 3-hour work session specifically to relax. And relaxing includes social media, but also includes resting, like napping. It includes eating, etc. I also use social media in like the little 5-minute breaks I have throughout the day. Maybe I'm working and I spend like an hour doing something. I just need like a 5-minute break or something. That's when I'll use social media too. Or maybe you're commuting or something. You're like on the car or in the bus or something. Yeah, I see using social media perfectly fine in those situations. I also try to rest instead of scroll if I can rest. Things like napping and sleeping, I feel, are like the only way to actually mentally heal any like fatigue you have in your brain from a long session of work. So I definitely take a lot of naps. Sleeping is like the only way to mentally repair your brain. I mean, of course, you have to eat, you have to drink water, do all that too. But sleeping is like the number one thing. Sometimes I'll scroll because I'm tired. And if you're tired or mentally fatigued, then you should rest, you should sleep, you should nap. Take a nap. Naps are good. Even a 5-minute nap is good. A 10-minute nap. I try to keep it to less than 30 minutes. But if you need to sleep in like an hour or so, like just take that sleep. And then a final tip I have is using apps to block apps. I have this app called 1 Second that gives you a timer you have to sit through and think before actually opening up the app. So let's say you open up TikTok on an impulse. This timer will pop up and you'll have to sit through that timer for 8 seconds. And then after that 8 seconds, if you still want to use TikTok, then you can. But that avoids the whole deleting TikTok thing, you know, that some people recommend, which I think might be a good strategy. But for me, I'm not deleting TikTok right now. There's also this Google Chrome extension called Unhook that I use to hide my YouTube recommendations. That way I'm using YouTube as a search engine, like searching things up instead of getting recommended videos that I don't need to be recommended right now. So yeah, as long as I get what I need done, I don't see social media as an issue. I'm not perfect and I will procrastinate with it sometimes, but it's something I will improve with over time. Nobody's human, or I'm only human. You shouldn't, I mean, you can kind of beat yourself over it, but don't beat yourself up too much. So how do you use social media? I'm curious. How do you use social media as an artist or a creative? Like, how do you balance the two? Anyways, thanks for watching. This is Burst, and like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks. See ya.
What'd you say?
I'm your Uber driver. Get in.
I didn't order an Uber.
We've got one now.
I'm good, bro.
Oh my fucking God! Get the hell in! Or wait. Went out we looked for my dog?